Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining my assembly today. I think we should start with the sign of the cross. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, so my assembly today is about World Book Day, which, as you know, we all celebrated yesterday in some way. So I'm going to be talking about where it all started from, and a little bit about how schools celebrate it. So although we enjoy reading every day at St Helens, World Book Day unites us all together to remind us why reading is so important. So what is World Book Day? Well, it's one day of the year where we set aside to celebrate books, reading, authors and illustrators. And their mission is to remind us that reading is for pleasure, it's never a chore, and their aim is to give every child a book of their own and to really explore new authors and to get excited about new genres. And many schools, they have the whole day set aside for this, to do lots of fun activities and to learn more about new authors. So when did it all begin? Well, World Book Day was created by UNESCO, which stands for United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organisation. And it was created on the 23rd of April 1995 as a worldwide celebration of books and reading. It is marked in over 100 countries around the globe. The first World Book Day was held in 1997, making this year the 24th World Book Day. World Book Day is usually held on the first Thursday in March. So why is reading so important? Well, for me, I believe that reading really does make us better writers. Let's see what some famous authors think. So Frederick Douglass, who you might not be familiar with, he was a public speaker and author in the 1800s who fought for equality and human rights. And he once said, once you learn to read, you will be forever free. So reading really unlocks your potential. Thomas Horton said, an hour spent reading is one stolen from paradise. Just to remind us once again that reading really is a pleasure, it's something to enjoy. Roald Dahl once said, if you are going to get anywhere in life, you have to read a lot of books. And C.S. Lewis said, I can't imagine someone really enjoying a book and reading it only once. I wonder, have you ever read your favourite book more than once? I know I have. And a really good book is a book that you just can't put down, can you? You're waiting to find out what happens next. It keeps you on the edge of your seat, doesn't it? So every year there are books that are actually specially written to celebrate World Book Day, like these ones here. You can find out more about these books on the World Book Day website, and as you can see on every front cover they've got the World Book Day logo, and it says on their free book, because World Book Day also began £1 book vouchers, which allows lots of children to access books for free, especially if they are unable to get some themselves. So how do people celebrate World Book Day? So on this special day, people all over the world share stories, pretend to be their favourite book character, and even dress up as them. This year, there have been some really exciting author and illustrator academy videos free to watch on the World Book Day website, and Year 5 this week have been watching some of those through Seesaw. Obviously this year is a little bit different, isn't it? But in the past we have held class assemblies, whole school assemblies, perhaps you have invited authors into school to talk about their books as well, and you would have also received your £1 book vouchers. So here's a few of our creations in Year 5 that we completed yesterday on Seesaw. So we asked Year 5 to complete a variety of activities, and one of those activities was to redesign their favourite book front cover. So if they were the illustrator, what would they do differently? Here are a few examples. You may be familiar with some of these books, David Walliams, The Worst Witch. What else did we do? Well, some children dressed up at home and they recorded videos of themselves reading a favourite part of their book. Children in school in Year 5 yesterday, we wrote to our favourite author, we completed really fun quizzes, and we also, oh gosh, what else did we do? We did lots of really fun things yesterday. So how to choose your next book? I hope you're feeling inspired at the moment. So we can find books in lots of places. At school, we have got an amazing library at St Helens. That's one of the things that I'm really excited about being a new teacher at this school. There are so many books, whether they're fiction, non-fiction, it's really amazing. At home, I know you've all got lots of different books at home in your own libraries, at the library and in the shops. At the moment, the libraries have been closed, haven't they? So when they reopen, I really would encourage you to visit your library and support them and find out what books they have available as well. And the shops are closed as well, but also in supermarkets they've got a good range of books. There are lots of different types of books. We call these genres of books. How many of these genres have you heard of before, or perhaps have you even read? So non-fiction books, these are our factual books, so books like encyclopedias, atlases and topic books about particular times in history perhaps. We've got action and adventure, one of my favourites. Science fiction, so aliens, UFOs. Fantasy, so Lord of the Rings for example. Biographies, so biographies about famous people in history. Fairy tales, autobiographies, mystery, I love crime mystery stories. Instructions, so like recipe books. Comedy, and myths and legends, which are more common in your history lessons. Okay, so all people enjoy books for different reasons. Perhaps we read books when we need to have a laugh and we need to have a giggle. Perhaps when we want to learn about the past or we want to ask questions about the future. No matter what your reasons are for reading or what your favourite genre is, whether it's crime, whether it's fantasy, as a community, we all have one book in common, the Bible. The Bible teaches us, comforts us, and guides us through Jesus' name. So I asked Year 5 Bubble yesterday why they love reading, and here's what they said. They said, I can discover new words, I like to learn more about a topic, reading is a better way to unwind than watching TV. I completely agree, and it also limits your screen time. Reading gives me ideas for my writing. Of course it does, because you're going to be learning new words and perhaps some examples of similes and metaphors that then you can magpie ideas for in your writing. Somebody said, I like imagining that I'm in a different world and I can escape and embark on a new adventure. Of course, we read to escape sometimes, don't we? Escape from the norm. And lastly, I like connecting to a character and noticing similarities with them to myself. So that's all about having empathy for a character and almost imagining that you are them going through that adventure. So thank you to Year 5 for those brilliant ideas. So what are we reading in Year 5? Well, I had the pleasure of reading with some of Year 5 yesterday, and we were practicing reading for fluency, and here's a few of the books that we're reading. So perhaps you have read some of these books, or perhaps you are now feeling inspired to choose some of these for your next book. Right, so it's not too late to celebrate World Book Day. It was yesterday and we are still talking about it, and the website is brilliant. I really would encourage you to have a look at it if you haven't done so already. It's www.worldbookday.com. And on here you'll find out more about World Book Day, more about its history and more about its events. And you can also explore lots of free videos, interviews, recommendations from famous authors and perhaps some new authors, and also illustrators. And they talk about how they came up with their ideas for their characters and how they even write stories and how they got into becoming an author. So it's really, really inspiring, especially if you're thinking about becoming an author yourself. And I would encourage you to make every day a World Book Day, because reading is for everyone and it is for every day. You should be reading every day. So perhaps you're feeling inspired to become an author yourself. What would you like to write about? Perhaps you've already got some ideas for some characters or a setting. Maybe you could pitch your favourite book to your friend, teacher or family member and try and write a persuasive pitch perhaps. Perhaps you could write to your favourite author. Sometimes they write back, they really do. I've had lots of letters in the past from authors that have written back, and it's amazing to see that they're answering our questions. You could ask for book recommendations, once again from your parents, teachers, friends. Are you reading the same genres all the time? Are you always reading Diary Wimpy, for example? Or are you always reading fantasy? I would encourage you to try something new. There's lots out there, as you can see. And when you read, make predictions. What do you think is going to happen next? Ask questions. Look up new words in the dictionary. Read aloud sometimes. Read to your friends. Read to your family. It really does encourage and help your fluency. Okay, I'd like to end with a prayer. Dear Jesus, we thank you for the gifts of language and reading. Help us always to use these gifts in good ways. We thank you for all those people who have taught us to read. Help us to listen to you whenever we read the Bible. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much for joining my assembly today. I would now invite you to watch the Year 5 Bubble singing all about the books. And as you are listening and as you are watching, I would like you to look out for the Year 5 children reading in some familiar spaces around the school. I wonder, can you spot all of them? Thank you so much. Have a lovely morning, everybody.